I feel very, very lucky that we are where we are today because Caroline's doing great.
It's what parents in Cece and Linwood Davis's shoes can only pray they'll be able to say nearly 2 years after a journey through the NICU. But there were never any guarantees.
The last third of Caroline's pregnancy was in our arms.
The picture would look this perfect.
It's one of the things about pregnancy is you just don't know about so much, and you have no control over it.
Let's take you back to the beginning.
So we were actually a little bit older when we decided to start a family. In 2010, we learned that we were actually pregnant.
We were elated.
I was working in Winston at the time, and Cece was actually working in Durham at the time, so she would commute down there. And for the first half of the pregnancy, things were pretty much on track.
Mid-pregnancy, things started to change.
I had a rough pregnancy, and at about 24 weeks, I started having contractions.
Out of town working, Cece rushed to the ER at Duke, where doctors warned of the couple's worst fears.
Because we knew that there was a chance that the baby could actually come.
We really wanted to hold it to at least, if we could get through, to 28 weeks.
What are you thinking at this point?
We were very nervous.
Fast forward to week 27, 3 weeks since the trip to Duke, back home in Winston-Salem on bed rest, 1 week from their delivery goal.
End of 27 weeks, I was feeling awful. And so we went into the hospital that day. And the next thing I know, I was in an emergency C-section. It all happened very quickly.
2.5 pounds, 27 weeks old. This is how Caroline Mack Davis came into the world.
We arranged to have a visit with the NICU in case that we would have an early delivery. And Caroline actually came a week before our scheduled visit just to go find out what the NICU
so we had to
was.
tour the NICU after she was in it.
Caroline was so small being in the NICU, but for me to get to the NICU, I had to walk past the regular nursery where all the full-term babies were. And I just couldn't imagine how big their parents must have been, because those babies looked huge compared to Caroline. She was absolutely tiny and small and frail, and we knew we had a long road ahead of us.
And in the beginning, she did well for about the first week, but the NICU is a roller coaster, and so we ran into the same problems that any 27-week baby would run into. Every step of the way, there's a hurdle that Caroline had to get through, whether it's eating or learning to breathe on your own. Initially, these babies have a lot of apnea. And so Caroline experienced all those hurdles, and we were in the NICU for 4 months.
She actually developed a tremendously serious infection, and it was deadly. And we discovered on Thursday, and the doctor said, well, if she can live till Saturday, we can probably save her. This is actually after we had spent so much time in the NICU, and we were hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and we just didn't. And, you know, with the research and the medical techniques and the capabilities that they have today, we saved her.
After 4 months in the NICU and the support of the staff at Forsyth Medical Center, friends, family, and resources funded by the March of Dimes, Caroline started to beat that apnea.
The last hurdle we had to overcome was for her to get rid of that problem. And to get rid of that problem, then she would have to prove that she had gotten rid of that problem by not experiencing it for 7 days. And so some families that encounter this problem also might get to day 5 and think that they're going home, and they have to restart the clock. So it can be very frustrating. So we never knew that we were coming home until she made it through a whole week of proving that she herself could come home. And we were elated, and everybody was. And I think the NICU was ready to get rid of us.
The NICU was elated.
Hello, is Caroline there?
It's Mommy.
Now Caroline's elated to enjoy Saturday morning play dates. Her development and growth are right on track.
We cannot understand how much has been given to us until we actually go through a very difficult or emergency situation. And that's where we are today. And so now it's easy for us to look back and look at how well the March of Dimes and Forsyth Medical Center, how skilled and how important all the work that they do is, and what a beneficiary we are to that.
Well, I think it can give a person peace of mind just to know that there are organizations like the March of Dimes that is putting all this research into helping mothers and babies. Just being able to hold off that preterm labor till a little bit later in the gestation of the baby is Caroline really benefited from that. And the steroid shot that I received, she really benefited from as well. So we didn't know how much we were being helped by the March of Dimes at the time, but she is definitely a beneficiary, and we are thankful for that.